About 7 months ago, my entire world shifted. I discovered that the woman I had devoted 8 years of my life to, my wife, was having an affair. The betrayal wasn't with some younger guy or a mutual friend. It was with a man in his late 40s, someone I'd never even heard her mention before. Just like that, nearly a decade of shared memories, trust, and love evaporated. At the time, I was 31. She was 33. I still remember the moment everything began to unravel, and it all started by sheer coincidence. Just a case of being in the right place at the wrong time. I had been away for a few days on a business trip, and was originally set to return the next day. But meetings wrapped up early, so I thought I'd surprise her. No call, no text. Just show up and maybe bring home dinner. Romantic, right? About 12 miles from home, I stopped to fuel up. Afterward, I got back on the road, though traffic was frustratingly slow. Stop signs, red lights, the usual suburban crawl. As I sat at a four-way stop, my eyes wandered down a side street, and there it was, my wife's car. I blinked. Was I seeing things? Nope. It was definitely her. Same license plate, same little dent on the back fender. She hadn't mentioned being anywhere near this area when we talked a couple of hours earlier. My gut twisted. What was she doing here? I immediately called her. It rang 4 times before she picked up, sounding breathless, like she just sprinted a mile. "Hey," she said, her voice strangely unsteady. "What you up to?" I asked, doing my best to stay calm. "Oh, I was just about to call you," she replied after a slight hesitation. "Really? Where are you?" Just running a quick errand," she said quickly. "Why?" "My meeting's finished up early." I told her, "I'm heading home now." She seemed thrilled to hear that, acting as though she was already there, waiting. She asked how soon I'd be back. 15 minutes, maybe less," I said. From the background noise, it was clear she was still driving. "Where are you headed?" I asked casually. There was a pause. Then she said, "Just going to store." "Which one?" "The one closest to our house," she replied without missing a beat. Lie. I could see her car just up ahead, merging onto the highway, miles from home, nowhere near the local store. There was no logical reason for her to be this far out. Right then, something in me changed. I didn't want to accuse her. Not yet. If she was going to lie, I wanted to see how far she'd take it. "Perfect," I said smoothly. "I'll meet you there. Then we can grab dinner." There was a pause, followed by an overly enthusiastic, "Sounds great." She hadn't expected that. Then I added in the calmest voice I could manage, "I just passed the rest area." That rest area was less than a minute behind her. For a brief moment, nothing happened. Then she floored it. Her car shot forward, speeding well over 90 miles per hour, tearing down the highway like she was fleeing the scene of a crime. I gripped the steering wheel, heart pounding. She knows I'm on to her. By the time I arrived at the store, she was already parked. She stood next to her car, fixing her hair, adjusting her clothes in the side mirror, trying way too hard to look casual. Inside the store, she turned to me and said, "I need to use the restroom." "So do I," I replied. Her face twitched for half a second, but she covered it with a smile. I finished quickly and waited outside the restroom for her. 5 minutes passed. Then 10. 15. When she finally emerged, I smiled and joked I was about to send in a search party. She laughed lightly, brushing off the comment. "Sorry, nature called." I nodded, pretending to buy it, but I'd been standing right outside. I never heard a toilet flush, just a sink running. She hadn't been using the restroom. She had been cleaning up, wiping off the scent, the sweat, the guilt. We skipped dinner out and grabbed something from the deli instead. All the while, I stayed calm, composed, even affectionate. But inside, my thoughts were a storm. Back home, as we ate, I casually asked, "So how was your day?" "Nothing exciting," she said without blinking. "Went to work. Came straight home. Straight home." right? I gripped my fork a little tighter, swallowing the anger rising in my chest. Every lie felt like a fresh wound, but I didn't confront her, not without proof. She'd spin it, gaslight me, make me doubt what I'd seen with my own eyes. That night, she fell asleep easily, peaceful like nothing had happened. I, on the other hand, lay awake for hours, staring at the ceiling, consumed by suspicion. The next day, I checked her phone while she cooked dinner. Nothing. No suspicious messages. No strange calls. I even reviewed our mobile and credit card statements. Still, nothing unusual. For a brief moment, I wonder if I had overreacted. Maybe I was just being paranoid. But then the feeling returned, the one I couldn't shake. Just because I hadn't caught her, yet didn't mean she was innocent. It only meant she was careful. And I was going to find out the truth. I was unraveling. Every day felt like walking on a tightrope, waiting for the next lie to reveal itself. I knew something was going to happen again. It was just a matter of time. And sure enough, one afternoon while I was at work, she called me. "Hey, babe," she said, sounding like casual. Too casual. "Just wanted to let you know I have to stay late tonight. It's month end and we're backed up." I leaned back in my chair, gripping the phone just a little tighter. "Oh yeah? How late?" "Not sure. Maybe an hour or two. I'll text you when I'm on my way home." I forced my voice into something that sounded normal. "All right, don't work too hard." We said our goodbyes, and I sat there staring at the screen like it might tell me what I already knew in my gut. She was lying. Again. Sure, she stayed late sometimes. That wasn't new. But this time it felt different. Her tone, the timing, the fact that I knew exactly where she had been the week before. That same street, the one she had no reason to be on. I didn't even hesitate. I left work early, drove straight to that neighborhood, and started scouting. I passed down the street, slowly around 4:30. No sign of her car. I didn't want to make a scene, so I pulled into a McDonald's near the main intersection, parked where I had a good view, and waited. At 4:45, there she was. Her car rolled up to the light like clockwork, then turned onto that street. The same damn street. I clenched the steering wheel, my knuckles turning bone white. I gave it 10 minutes. Just enough time for her to get comfortable. Then I followed. Her car was parked in the same driveway as last time. This time, right next to a shiny new Ram pickup. I sat in my car across the street, heart pounding. Rage simmered beneath the surface. A part of me wanted to charge up to that front door and end it right there, to see the look on her face, to see him. But something inside me held back. Instead, I pulled out my phone, snapped some photos of her car parked neatly outside his house, and drove away. Back home, I couldn't sit still. I had to know who he was. So I looked up the address. My stomach twisted as soon as I saw the name. He wasn't some random guy. He was a co-owner of a business that worked with her company. That meant she wasn't just cheating. She was doing it with a client, crossing boundaries that could burn everything down. Digging deeper, I found out more. He was around 50, divorced, with 2 kids in college. A middle-aged businessman with a cushy life and nothing to lose. Meanwhile, my wife, was playing house with him behind my back. That night, she came home with takeout from my favorite Chinese place, her smile wide like she hadn't just come from another man's arms. "Hey, babe," she said cheerfully, leaning in for a kiss. I turned slightly, giving her the most half-hearted kiss I could muster. She giggled, grabbing my chin playfully. None of that," she teased. "Give me a real one." It took every ounce of control not to recoil in disgust. But I played along. Quick kiss. No soul in it. We sat down to eat, and every bite tasted like betrayal. "I've got to visit a customer location tomorrow," I said between mouthfuls. "Might be late getting home." She perked up immediately, trying to act casual. "Oh, yeah? Where?" "A couple towns over. Won't be back till evening." I watched her closely. She was already working through the logistics in her head, making her next move, planning how to see him again. She smiled sweetly. "Don't worry about dinner. I'll cook something nice." The audacity. Cooking for me like a doting wife after spending the day with him. But that dinner, it was never going to happen. I had no customer visits planned. The only place I was going was straight back to his house. And wouldn't you know it, everything unfolded exactly as I expected. That afternoon, I drove by her car, same spot, parked like it belonged there. No hesitation this time. No shock, just confirmation. I went straight home, booked a hotel, and started packing. Every fold of a shirt, every zip bag felt like locking the door on 8 years of my life. Then I made the call. She answered right away, cheerful as ever. Hey, babe, what's up? I clenched my jaw. What are you doing? Oh, just sitting in a conference room, working on a spreadsheet. Right, you're lying, I said. My voice didn't shake. It was ice. I know where you are. I know who you're with. I know exactly what you're doing. Silence. You're either screwing him right now or you just finished. Just like yesterday. Just like last week. Still no answer. I'm done with you, I said flatly, and I won't be home when you get there. Still nothing. So I gave her a few words I'd been holding back for far too long, then hung up. I sat on the edge of the hotel bed, exhaled, and waited. 20 minutes later, the phone started lighting up like a Christmas tree. Calls, texts, over and over. I didn't answer. I knew why it took her 20 minutes to respond. Because the second I hung up, she probably turned to him and said, "Oh my God, my husband knows." And the rest of that time, she was spinning, panicking, trying to figure out how to fix the unfixable. By the end of the night, I had over 100 texts and 50 voicemails. At first, it was denial. It's not what it looks like. I can explain. Then it turned to begging. Please, Frank. I'm sorry. Just talk to me. And eventually, full-blown hysteria. Sobbing voicemails. Desperate apologies. The whole script. They always act like they don't care until they're caught. Then suddenly, they turn into emotional train wrecks. Later that night, after a few stiff drinks at the hotel bar, I called both of our parents. I was too buzzed to sugarcoat anything, so I laid it all out. Every foul, disgusting detail. My mom gasped. Frank, no. She wouldn't. She did, I said, voice flat. She's been sleeping with a guy in his 50s. A client. Silence. Then my dad, always a calm one, cleared his throat. Son, are you sure? I laughed bitterly. I saw her car. Twice. I confronted her. She didn't even deny it. My mom's voice broke. I thought you two were happy. I stared up at the ceiling. Yeah, so did I? They were stunned. Heartbroken. Just like I had been. The next few months were a blur of hotel rooms, lawyers, and silence. I avoided her completely. No messages. No calls. No contact. Only my parents knew where I was. And honestly, that was how I wanted it. I didn't trust anyone not to tell her where I was. Everyone was on my side. Everyone except her closest friends, of course. Still, even the people who supported me kept saying the same thing. You should at least meet with her. Let her explain. Give her a chance to apologize in person. From the dozens of voicemails she left and the quiet updates coming through mutual friends, I knew she wasn't handling it well. Honestly, I wasn't surprised. She'd gone from sneaking around behind my back to full-blown panic the moment she realized I wasn't coming back. But instead of letting her face the consequences of her own choices, her circle decided to make it my responsibility. At first, it was manageable. Pleading texts, long-winded messages from people I barely even knew, all echoing the same line, just talk to her, Frank. She's not doing well. Then her older sister got involved, and that's when things turned ugly. One evening, my phone rang, and out of habit, I picked up. Big mistake. Frank, what the hell is wrong with you? Her voice was sharp, already angry before I said a word. She's falling apart, and you don't even care? I closed my eyes, already exhausted. This isn't my problem anymore. She's not eating. She's not sleeping. God, Frank, she loved you. She made a mistake, and you're just throwing everything away like it meant nothing. I clenched my jaw. It did mean something. That's why I'm not tolerating this. She threw it away the second she climbed into bed with someone else. She scoffed. So you're just going to ignore her? What if something happens to her? What if she paused and spat it out, what if she does something drastic? That's on you. That was it. That was the line. I took a deep breath. Let me be perfectly clear. Her choices are not my responsibility. She created this mess, not me. And if you or anyone else tries to guilt me into taking her back, you can forget my number. Then I hung up and blocked her. The next day, I found out her friends had been running their mouths, painting me as cold and heartless. And then came the real hit. Her parents turned on me too. That one hurt. We had always been close. Her dad and I used to grab beers together. Her mom used to tell me I was the son they never had. I genuinely thought they loved me like family. But apparently, when it came down to it, blood was thicker than 8 years of marriage. Her mom called me, voice tight, like she was trying not to cry. "Frank, can't you just talk to her?" "No," I said flatly. She sighed. "You were like a son to us. And now you're just giving up?" I let out a dry laugh. "Giving up? She's the one who cheated. Remember that." "She made a mistake," she said quietly. "People work through these things all the time." Well, I'm not those people. That was the last conversation I had with them. They made their choice, and I made mine. Thankfully, my own family, my real family, and my closest friends stood by me. They reminded me I wasn't crazy, that walking away was the right thing, no matter how many people tried to shame me for it. I kept the line cut, no contact. Let the attorneys handle everything. My wife fought the divorce hard. She offered me anything, everything, to stay married, but I was already gone. When she finally realized there was nothing she could say to change my mind, she gave in, signed the papers. After that, it all moved fast. Last month, the divorce was finalized. Clean break, no lingering ties. I won't pretend I was some stoic through it all. 8 years is a long time. There were sleepless nights, moments when the weight of it almost crushed me. But I pushed through, and now I'm free. That should have been the end of it, but she still thinks there's a chance. She keeps saying we're meant to be, that fate will bring us back together, just like it did once before. She texts me 3 to 4 times a week, updates on her life, long-winded apologies, constant reminders of how much she misses me. I should have blocked her by now, but honestly, a small part of me finds satisfaction in seeing how miserable she is. Maybe that makes me petty, but after everything she put me through, I think I've earned that little sliver of satisfaction. As for her drill partner, well, let's just say I can't go into too much detail right now. My attorney and his attorney are handling something. You can probably fill in the blanks. She swore he meant nothing, said she cut all contact. But it doesn't matter. Meaningless fling or soulmate, she still betrayed me. And there's no coming back from that. 7 months after it all went down, he handed me $200,000 to drop the case. I took the money. No sense dragging it out. I'd already won in every way that mattered. I was free of a cheating wife and paid for my trouble. Some people call it hush money. I call it compensation for the years I'll never get back. A few weeks ago, I got a call from an unknown number. I normally don't answer those, but something told me to pick up. "Frank, it's Linda." Her mother's voice was shaky, broken. I almost hung up, but I didn't. I waited. "She collapsed," she said softly. "They found her on the floor. She wasn't eating, wasn't sleeping. The doctors say it's severe depression. They've put her in a rehab facility." I said nothing. What was I supposed to say? That I felt bad? That I'd come running? Linda sniffled on the other end. "Please, Frank, if you just talk to her." No, my voice was steady. "Cold. She's not my problem anymore. She's sick, Frank. She needs help, I cut her off. She should have thought about that before she spread her legs for another man. I owe her nothing. Silence. Then, in a small, broken voice, Linda whispered, "She still loves you." I let out a bitter laugh. She loved me so much she cheated in the middle of the day while pretending to be at work? No, Linda. She loved the life I gave her, the comfort, the stability. But me? if she really loved me, she wouldn't have destroyed everything we built. I took a breath. Don't call me again. And I hung up. That was the moment I knew. If I stayed in the city, they'd never stop trying to pull me back in. With the money I got, I bought a little farmland out in the countryside. Quiet, remote, free of the noise and the memories. I got a few animals. Chickens, goats, even a couple horses. I traded corporate stress for open skies and early sunrises. Quit my job for good. No more meetings. No more deadlines. No more pretending. Out here, it's just me. The land. The animals. I wake with the sun. I work with my hands. I breathe deeply. And for the first time in years, I feel good. Not just emotionally. Not just mentally. But truly, completely free.